there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and it's looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. The Las Vegas alien incident, as far as I'm concerned, is the biggest story of all time. I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it forever, till the day I die. I'll say that, because it is. There's no question about it. It proves unequivocally that we are not alone on this world. There's a non-human intelligent presence with us, and that case absolutely proved it. But one of the questions I keep getting from a lot of I guess I'm supposing some newer subscribers, people who haven't followed me for the past year and a half. I mean, I've been doing the show for over 4 years now, but for the past year and a half, I've done a lot of episodes. I've lost count. I have no idea how many times I've talked about the Las Vegas case, but it's been a lot, and I believe I covered just about all of it. I don't know. I think there may be little elements here and there that I missed or that I don't talk about enough. But for the most part, I pretty much covered all of it. But a lot of questions I get from people is like, well, where did they go? How did they get out of there before the police got there? It seems that question keeps popping up, even though I know I've explained this numerous times in various podcasts. The short answer is this. I believe that other aliens showed up and got them out of there, along with the craft that they landed in. Whatever that craft was, it made a hard landing in the Kenmore family's backyard right before midnight on April 30th, 2023. And alien creatures exited that craft, and at some point I believe that other aliens showed up in other craft and got them out of there along with the disabled craft somehow. That's what the evidence seems to be pointing in that direction, and that's what we're going to talk about. And we're also going to talk about some other information, some new information with regard to the ongoing cover-up with this. I'm going to present some new data that shows that, yes, there's no question about it, that this thing has been getting covered up. It's being suppressed. There's no question about it. There are people out there who do not want anyone to know about this. They want people to forget about it. They don't want anyone to think about it. They want to pretend it doesn't mean anything, when in actuality it means everything. It shows, no doubt about it, unequivocally, we are not alone in this universe, and there is something else here with us. Obviously, an intelligence that is more technologically superior. They're most certainly more superior to us with regard to technology. There's no question about it as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's just a quick overview, okay? For one thing, okay, it starts off with what everyone thought was a meteor falling from the sky, okay? There was video that was captured on a police body camera. A police officer was in Las Vegas interviewing some people in the street, and he just inadvertently captured this object falling from the sky. And we learned later through other researchers and other reports that people from 4 different states actually saw this object falling from the sky, not just in Nevada, but also Utah, California, and Arizona. And some of these people actually reported it to the American Meteorological Society, and we're going to talk about that as well. But but what happened here is that this object fell from the sky, but it wasn't just captured on that police body camera. It was captured there was a car that had a dash cam that captured it falling. So in Las Vegas that day, and there was also an Amazon robo-taxi that captured this object falling from the sky, and it actually filmed it in long-wave infrared, and it showed that this object had no heat signature. I've talked about this video many, many times. That video was actually leaked in the weeks following the incident, and the person worked at Amazon. Apparently, it was an Amazon-owned robo-taxi that was driving down the street, and it films everything, right? And it actually captured that object. object falling from the sky, and there was no heat signature. It actually showed that there was an airplane at the same time that it captured in the sky flying, and that the airplane had a heat signature, but the object, which was just about to land, did not have a heat signature. Now, if that object would have been 50 miles away, because you could see a meteor falling from the sky, it could be 50 miles away from you, but this object had to be close. It had to be very close. So that's it was about to land. It was about to land in the Kenmore's backyard. So it wasn't no 50 miles away. It was very close. Who knows? Maybe 10 miles, whatever, something close or less, 10 miles or less. I don't know exactly, but it had to be pretty close, and it shows that there was no heat signature, right? So you had that, and then there was the video. It was a security camera on someone's front of their house that captured this object falling from the sky. And not only did it capture it, but also had sound. So this object, as it came down, was making a oscillating sound. So we talk about that video a lot. Now, this one video I haven't talked about a lot. There was a person, a YouTuber named Mellow Greetings, and on May 1st, here I'm on his YouTube channel right here. I have it on the screen, and it says May 1st, 2023. He talks about this meteor that he captured on his security camera on his house that fell on April 30th at 11:49 p.m. And this person was he was located in Pahrump, Nevada, which is just west of Las Vegas. So he captured this, and I'm going to leave a link for this so you can check it out for yourself. This is the full video, but I actually zoomed in on it here so you could get a better look at this thing. Let's check this out. You tell me what this is. This is not your regular old meteor. Look at this. Look at that thing. I just paused it there. It's not only you see the bigger object, you see this is from a different angle, but you get this other object that's just hanging out with it, side by side, a smaller little object right there, this little white dot. Look at that thing. And then it just drops out of the side. Let me play that again. I mean, this is amazing stuff. And I really I don't think I've talked about this video that much on my channel. But I should be talking about it. I should have been talking about it. Here it goes again. You can see this object falling down, but it's two objects. It's not just the one big one, but there's another one. I have no explanation for that. What could possibly be the explanation for that? Right there. So different people captured this object falling from the sky, and it seems like in every instance there's something strange about it. In this video right here, you see it's not just one object. From this angle, it looks like there's another smaller object that just right by its side as it falls. It's unbelievable. And then you had the other one that makes this, where we hear the sound that it was making, the oscillating sound, which that's very odd. And then of course the other video that showed that there was no heat signature. So there's that evidence right there is all of this evidence, just the video evidence of this object falling from the sky shows us that this is not this was not a meteor. This bluish green object, as many people who saw it described, was no meteor. It could not have been. And even, let me just put it this way, even if that object did show a heat signature, right? Even if it did. And then this other video where you see the main object, but you could also, from this angle, you see that there was something else right beside it as it fell. But even if you didn't have that second object in the one video, and even if you didn't have the no heat signature in the other video, and even if you didn't have the sound in the other video, right? It doesn't matter, right? Because we know what happens later on, because alien creatures actually get out of the craft. So there's just, to me, right, there's no question about it that there was something very strange about this object. It's no meteor. And let me just point out too that there's been a lot of reports over the years. I know there's other UFO researchers that have talked about UFOs that actually look like meteors. But what happened here? I don't know. Like, what's the explanation for all of this? Why did this object fall from the sky? It could have been something, something went wrong mechanically with this thing that they're flying around with, these creatures, and it needed to make an emergency hard landing, and it just happened to come down in the backyard of the Kenmore family. Or it could have been maybe the military. Our military may have shot it down. We have no idea, right? But the bottom line is that this object fell from the sky, landed in someone's backyard, and there's no way that this thing was a meteor. It was obviously some sort of a craft containing non-human intelligent creatures. I believe extraterrestrials. That's what I believe. And then it lands in the yard. Okay, we all know, a lot of us know the story. What happens? It lands in the yard. In the backyard at the time was Angel Ken Moore and his younger brother, two teenagers. His younger brother Joshua. They're working on their dad's truck. Their dad Bobby was in the house at the time at that moment and all of a sudden this object comes out of nowhere. This big, as Angel described it, it had blue and green lights on it, and then when it slammed into the ground, it threw off red sparks, and then it became invisible. He said when he looked in the area where that object came down, it was all blurry, but then when you looked in other parts of the yard, everything looked normal, but except for that area where that object hit. But somehow some kind of cloaking technology activated, and he couldn't see it properly. Then the next thing he knew, there were 8 to 10 foot tall alien beings. There was one of them staring him in the face, and when he stared him in the face, he became paralyzed momentarily, and then he broke out of it. The father, Bobby, walked out the back door, and all of a sudden felt some sort of an energy, and he couldn't move. Right? They actually were talking about this. There was a 911 call when they called up, all excited, talking to the 911 dispatchers, saying that, hey, there's alien creatures in the yard. There's no way that they're human. That's what they were saying.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light, and when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy. And then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us. And then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Okay. Do they have any weapons?
No, I don't think they have weapons, but they're very tall humans.
Okay, I already have a call set up, okay? My questions aren't delaying any kind of help.
Okay.
So what do they look like?
Okay, they're like a neon color light. Like their eyes look like neon. Like you can see very bright from very far away.
Okay.
They're about 10, 11 foot tall. And they're like, there's 2 of them. And they're like a greenish tan color.
Okay.
First, okay, we're working on a truck. We see something fall from the sky in the backyard.
Okay, so hang on. So it's green or tan colored eyes. Can you tell me anything else about them in case they take off?
They're tall. They're very large, and they're very like big, muscular. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Maybe they're aliens. 100%. I know I'm not stupid.
Okay, are they wearing clothes? Can you tell me anything else?
No, they're naked. No, there's no clothes. You can just see them shining.
Okay.
They're naked.
And your brother and your dad are still there?
They're right here next to me.
Okay. Can I speak to one of them?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, this is Metro Police on a recorded line. Do you still see them outside?
Well, I don't want to go all the way there because I have the heavy equipment on my bike.
Okay. And are you the father or the brother?
Yeah, I'm a father.
Okay.
So
how long ago did you see them?
That's 20 minutes.
Okay.
18, 20 minutes around there. So
they're green, correct?
Yeah, they're like green, but very tall. They're about 11 foot tall. Well, I have a couple of trailers in the back. They're very tall. They were like 10 tall as the trailers. Yeah.
Are you able to give me any other description other than that they're very tall, muscular, green, tan-colored skin? Can you tell me anything else about them?
No. I could see them walk. They walk like I have a heavy equipment. They're like right there. I don't know. So
okay.
We can see it's no close to them. No, they look like all like both heads.
Could you tell if they had any weapons or no?
No, I don't see nothing. No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
I see it so fast. That was so fast. Actually, when I walked back there, when I walked back there, I was walking back to my house, to my yard, to my house, and I could see the energy. I couldn't walk no more, so that was kind of weird. I don't know.
But before they made the 911 call, they actually, all three of them, or excuse me, the father and the two sons, Joshua and Angel, they armed themselves and they decided to go back into the backyard again to, I guess, I don't know, scare these beings away or shoot them or whatever. But they were all carrying handguns, right? And they walked into the backyard, as we all know. We all saw that 1 minute and 41-second video. And no sooner did they walk in the backyard, something comes out of the darkness and scared them out of the yard. And we see they kept on filming, though. The mother was filming this, Contra. She was filming the entire, all the action that was ongoing there. And later analysis of the video shows that you could see alien creatures in this video. They only reported 2 tall alien beings, but a closer examination of that video showed that it wasn't just tall beings. There was actually some short ones too. There was most certainly a short little gray alien hiding there in the back by this heavy equipment. They had a lot of heavy equipment in their backyard, along with a lot of different vehicles that were parked there as well. But so, and we talked about it. We talked, it took like almost a year, right? We were looking at that video. I did not think that those people were hoaxing, even though some people were saying that it was a hoax. It was no hoax. There's no way this was a hoax. Right, but I felt there was absolutely. Why would you hoax something? Why would you call 911 up to report alien beings in your yard if it wasn't true? I mean, are you looking to go to jail? If you make a phone call like that, you're going to end up in jail. But anyway, so they filmed all of this stuff with that 1 minute and 41 seconds worth of video. Then they decided, you know what, we better call the police. And so they called 911 and they told the dispatcher what was going on. The dispatcher told them to go back inside and wait till the police show up. And when they went back inside, it was later reported that they heard footsteps on the roof. There were footsteps that they heard on the roof, and they had to wait for at least an hour, right? So they must have, this object came down just before midnight. So it was around midnight where they were filming this action in their yard, or when they were tangling with these creatures, right? And then they called 911 up sometime after midnight, and it took about an hour. The police didn't show up until about 1 a.m. or something to that effect, or there some point after that, and they did an investigation. We don't have the body cam footage of when they searched in the backyard. There's like 15 or 16 minutes there that we still haven't seen yet, but apparently they didn't see any aliens. There was nothing there, right? When the police came and searched that backyard and interviewed the family, there was whatever was there earlier was now gone. And people wonder what happened. Well, I believe what happened here is that other aliens came to the rescue. That's what it seems as what happened. I've talked about this before too. I'm going to just pull up on the screen here a Fireball report. This was actually filed by a person going by the name of Brittany R. She filed this with the American Meteorological Society right when this happened too. Again, this was this was filed before anyone knew of aliens in anyone's backyard. So she filed this apparently right after it happened, or during it. It sounds like she might have filed it. In fact. Here's what she wrote. And she was watching the action from Arizona. She saw this object falling to the north from her position in Arizona. It says, immediately after observing this fireball, 2 lights appeared in the sky above where the fireball's path had been. They resembled stars but were moving quickly and disappearing, then reappearing constantly over the next hour. Seemed as though there were multiple aircraft of some type circling around the sky over and over again. Sometimes they were bright and lasting up to 10 seconds before disappearing. They have been constantly circling and moving north on the horizon for at least an hour. Very strange phenomenon. So she's saying that these 2 UFOs just showed up out of nowhere and were appearing and disappearing. Very similarly to when we look at the alien creatures, they were using some sort of cloaking technology themselves, or ability or whatever. They were appearing and disappearing in the backyard as well. Now, I guess last year there was, there's a lot of different people that contact me about this case. They have their own ideas about it, and some people are very, very obsessed with it. And there was one person who contacted me last year. I'm still in contact with this person. He wants to remain anonymous. He doesn't want his name out there. I've talked to this person. Actually, I did a FaceTime talk with him one day. This is a real person, right? Somebody who's investigating this himself, right? But he doesn't want his name out there. He's just fascinated by this case, and he's been, studying that 1 minute and 41 second long cell phone footage, ever since it happened. He's just very interested in it, and he spends a lot of time looking at it. Now, he sent me some images last year, and I've never talked about. I haven't shown these images on here because I have been unable to duplicate what he was showing me here. I couldn't duplicate what he showed me, and because of that, I have not shown them. But for the purposes of today's discussion, I am going to show these images that he sent me. I can't verify that this is real, right? What I'm about to present, but this. I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody else could verify it. It was right toward the end of the video. He said this is where he got these images from. Right, the last 12, 13, 14 seconds of that 1 minute and 41 second long video. He was able to find things in the sky by changing the contrast, the color, all kinds of. He's fooling around with the controls for the color on his computer, and he was able to come up with these strange images. And I'm going to pull them up some of them up on the screen right now. This is one of them that he sent. Now, what we're looking at here, this is you could tell that he was really screwing around with this stuff because the tree branches look white, but under the tree branches, it looks like there's this reddish or orangish kind of something here, right? And also off to the left, he has it circled, both things circled. He believes, again, I have not reached this conclusion myself. I think more research is required, but he believes that these could be two craft that were hovering in the sky. You can't see them. When you watch the video regularly, you cannot see this stuff. But again, what he said he did was he kept on screwing around with all of the color controls, and this is what he got. And to him, he says, what this shows is intelligent design. Now, this is one of the images here where you have them circled. I'm going to pull up some other ones here. Now, this is a clear one without everything circled. You could see a little bit more detail now. Like you could look here, it looks like there's boxes, and it looks like things like he's saying. It looks like it's intelligent design, but I cannot verify if this is. I just can't verify if it's real or not. And then here's a close up of this. Now, if you look at this. This looks right here, and he didn't even notice this. I was the one who pointed this out to him. Right here, it looks like there's a face of an alien right there, perhaps. This is an eye here, an eye there, and it's sitting behind this possible control panel. And you could see, what could be intelligent design, like he said. Here's another image of the object that's off to the left. It's blurry. I don't know how he was able to manage this or make this happen, but he did. He actually doesn't know what he told me he doesn't even know what he was doing. He just kept on screwing around until with all the color controls until he got these images. And you can see, it does look like it could be intelligent design, but I don't know. I mean, is it something that the computer's doing this? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, are there other experts out there who could look at this and figure it out? And now here's a close-up of one of the crafts that he says was hovering there, that he thinks could be hovering there. I mean, whatever this is, it could be intelligent design if it is in fact real. I don't know. I mean, you see these boxes and squares and whatnot, and then right here, it looks like there could be something right there. This could be a face staring back at you here. And here's one more, I believe. A black and white one where it's more detailed, it looks like. Yeah, you can see like what looks like could be intelligent design. Here he says this is one craft that's just hovering just under those tree branches here, and here's another one off to the left. Are these perhaps the two UFOs that Brittany R. said she was seeing that were appearing and disappearing just after the object fell from the sky? I don't know. But again, it's all very strange. I think that that's what happened. This is what happened, folks. As far as I'm concerned, I do believe that's how they got out of there. Why was at least one of them on the roof of the Kenmore's house, right? Why was there one of them on? Why did that happen? Was it had something to do with getting away? And how did they get out of there? I mean, I'm assuming this is my idea what happened here. I think that after that object fell from the ground, they tried to scare those people out of the yard. They tried to get them out of there because obviously these creatures felt like they were in trouble, right? They needed to, they needed some privacy. They needed some time to themselves till they figured out what they needed to do to get out of there. And then meanwhile, the family got themselves armed and then went back into the yard. And then the creatures, tried to scare them back out again. Of course, they did get scared and they did go running out, but they did keep on filming. But then they called 911. The dispatcher told them to wait in the house. They waited for about an hour, and by the time the cops showed up, there was nothing there, because I believe what happened is at least 2 other craft probably did show up, right, and got them out of there. Got not only the creatures, but also the disabled craft that landed there, and that's why there was nothing there by the time the police got there. Now, of course, Angel Kenmore, during an interview with the popular YouTuber Shermer in March of 2024, indicated that there was some they still felt like there might have been an alien creature there. He said they actually painted a window to a bathroom in the back of the house, because one night he was in the bathroom and he could have sworn that there was some sort of a short little creature standing outside. So they get scared him, and they painted the bathroom window. And there was also these weird chalk markings on the ground. They don't know how they got there. They think it might have had something to do with these creatures being there. But to me, something most certainly, all of this stuff, right? All of these things we're talking about, we already know. I've already presented the evidence of the aliens. I've shown numerous different images from that video, and that's only some of them. There's other things there, I believe, but I don't get into all of it. I like to show the ones that I am absolutely certain are alien creatures. I don't want to show something that could be pareidolia, because you're looking at this stuff and some of it could be, I don't know, but some of the stuff you see in these videos is most certainly not pareidolia, like the little alien creature that you see popping up near the heavy equipment after they got chased out of the yard. I call him the undeniable backbreaker, or UB, because you can't deny this guy. I mean, there's no way it could be debunked. This is a short alien gray. And then there was the face above the fence. There was a creature, right when they're getting chased out of the yard by one creature, another creature's face shows up right above the fence. They didn't even see it at that time. They didn't see it until they reviewed the cell phone footage later on. And then there was another creature that was standing back by the heavy equipment, and it looks just like one of the creatures that was described by the people who were abducted during the Allagash incident in 1976, and those 4 guys who went camping in the Allagash wilderness, and they saw a UFO, and then years later they realized, wow, we had missing time and all this kind of stuff, and they got hypnotized, and one of the drawings that one of these people who got abducted drew showed this weird looking insectoid like creature. And when you put that drawing right beside the drawing of one of these creatures that was standing by the heavy equipment, it looks like the same thing. And then there was other things. There was like these 2 big heads that you see inside the cab at one point, the cab of this front loader in this video. So there's there's no question about it. There's just too many elements to this. You have the different videos of the object coming down from the sky, and all of these videos show something anomalous. There's something anomalous about them, right? And then you have the 1 minute and 41 second long video that was filmed by the Kenmore family. And, of course, almost a year went by. Me and Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert who operates the Evidence Room, an Ohio-based company, of course, he looked at the video, and we couldn't confirm one way or the other over the first year of whether. You couldn't prove 100% that there were aliens in the video. It wasn't until one of my subscribers, Julia June from New York, had contacted me and alerted me to the face above the fence. Now, apparently other YouTubers had seen this before. I just didn't see those videos or something, probably. I don't even remember, or it wasn't jibing with my mind. But obviously there was a face above the fence. You could see it. There's no question this creature showed up above the fence right when they were getting chased out of the yard. Well, after I did a podcast about that in late March of 2024, Scott Roeder contacted me and said him and his team are going to be looking at this video again. He was able to determine that the video, there was no CGI, there was no special effects added. It was the video was authentic, and that there were entities in that yard, non-human intelligent entities, just as described by the family members, as described by the witnesses. And then we did a show on April 2nd of 2024. We called it Vindication Day, because as far as we were concerned, this proves it. This ends the debate. There should be no debate anymore. That's when we did that show. Now, then we're going to talk about the cover-up, because very strangely, okay, now, if you remember, 3 weeks later, after we did that Vindication Day show, Angel Kenmore showed up on News Nation. It was a News Nation interview. I'll leave the links for it. Here I'm showing them on the screen right now. You can see these. And in that interview that he provided to News Nation, Angel said that now the family has come to the determination that they weren't aliens after all; they were demons. And he also said that there was a couple of strange incidents that happened recently, including a cross that was floating, a crucifix that was just floating in the air by itself and then fall to the floor, and another incident where Bible pages were turning by themselves. So they came to the conclusion that it was demons. Well, I've received some evidence, I've heard from someone, let's just put it that way, that that's not true, that was something that he was forced to make that statement. Then it was 3 weeks after. It was 3 weeks after that Vindication Day podcast that I ran on my channel, and Scott Roeder was on, and we laid it all out, where Scott Roeder guaranteed 100% that this proves that there's something here. 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, we're hearing that it was demons and that the family was going to move out of the house soon. And they did. Eventually, before the end of the year, they ended up moving out of that house. But now this is what I heard. I had been contacted in a very strange way earlier this year. It was back in May by somebody who presented himself as a relative of the family. I can't verify this. I did have many texts back and forth with this person. He contacted me in a very unconventional way, and there was a lot of information that he provided that suggests that he knows what he's talking about. I can't prove it though. But this is what I was told. I don't know if this is true or not. Let's say it's a rumor. But what I was told was that they were approached, and Angel was approached by agents. I don't know agents from where. Who knows? Were they from the government? Who knows? Maybe they're men in black. I have no idea. Okay, this is the story. They were approached by these people and told that they want you to come out and say it's a hoax. They want you to tell that it's a hoax, and Angel had said, hey, if we do that, people are gonna, they're gonna be angry, they're gonna come after me. How about if I say it's demons instead? And these people, these agents, whoever they were, agreed. So, hence what happens next. Then there's these new interviews where Angel says, oh yeah, it's demons and we're moving out of here soon. And there were other things I was told too. By this person provided other information. Again, I can't say if it's real or not. I can't prove it. I can't verify if this person is who he says he is, right? But some of the things that he talked about seemed reasonable, and I don't know, but I can't say with 100%. So again, take this with a grain of salt. Other things that happened were that the cell phones, the cell phone that was used to film the creatures, was confiscated, along with another cell phone. And also clothing that they were wearing was confiscated and never returned. And a lot of other strange things. Let's just put it that way. So I just want to point that out. And I thought it was interesting. What I find interesting about this, I don't know if you remember, I know I mentioned this once before. I'm going to pull something up on the screen here. This was earlier this year when Scott Roeder had reached out to Dr. Stephen Greer, okay? And he wanted Roeder had prepared a report on this, and he wanted Greer to look at the report and give it his endorsement or his opinion or whatever, or get behind it. And Roeder had received a message back from one of Greer's associates named Raven, and here is the message. This is what was sent back to Scott Roeder. It says, "Thank you for sending all the information. You have done a very thorough analysis. While there is no doubt there was an incident with the object dropping from the sky, which was reported by the American Meteor Society and noted across several states, what is seen on the ground could have a number of explanations. There were a couple of videos circulating out there showing that some TikTok creators had used CGI in the video." Okay, let me just stop there. What part of Scott Roeder's already a video analysis expert what part didn't they understand, right? They said there's no CGI. Now, I seen an image on the internet of an alien, obvious CGI alien crawling over a fence. It was fake. There's no question about it, right? So I don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, let's continue here. It says, Angel Kenmore went on record a year later, stating that he saw a cross float across the room and Bible pages flipping by themselves. Now he thinks he saw a demon rather than an alien that was growling at him. To be honest, yes, there was some movement in the video, but it is very hard to tell with blurred images and shadows exactly what it is. It is not conclusive that what is seen are actual real extraterrestrials. At this point in time, Dr. Greer will not be involved with this, but we do appreciate you reaching out and sharing your analysis with us. Kind regards, Raven. Well, let me tell you, that this incident and the evidence associated with it blows anything away that Greer has ever presented. That's one thing. Let's just throw that out there. Let's get that out there for clear. Let's make that part clear. Okay, that's one thing. Okay. The other thing is, I find it very weird that they say about this. Oh, yeah, he was saying it's demons now. It's almost like, I wonder if it seems like somebody might have known about this. That's just my opinion. Doesn't make me right. It just seems that way to me. Like, here's the thing. When Angel first told that story, I thought, okay, well, that's something that happens sometimes. Sometimes people who report UFOs or encounters with aliens, there's poltergeist activity afterwards. Sometimes. I mean, if you think about the Skinwalker Ranch story in the 1990s, that family that was living there was, they not only were they seeing UFOs and orbs and weird cryptids, but there was poltergeist activity ongoing. Things would disappear and then reappear somewhere else, right? So I just thought, okay, well, that must be, this is par for the course. It's just poltergeist activity, not demons. And here you have one of Greer's people saying, yeah, that makes it, he's saying it's demons now, and Bible pages are turning. So yeah, we don't believe it now. It doesn't, and we don't believe the video evidence, even though anyone with half a brain looks at the video, right? If you're going to be truthful with yourself, right, and look at the evidence that's presented and the images that we are able to extract from that video, it shows. There's no question about it. There's alien creatures there. There was no other explanation. That's the bottom line. You could lie to yourself. You could go to the debunkers, go up to Mick West and coddle up to him and have him lie to you just so you feel better. But that's the bottom line is that doesn't matter. Whatever these debunkers say, whatever Stephen Greer says, whatever anybody says, the government won't even respond. In fact, if you remember, last year, I sent after we made that a few months after I made that presentation with Scott Roeder, I sent a big long letter, big long email to the Department of Defense as well as to the Department of Energy, laying it all out for them. I never received a response. More recently, a few months back, I reached out. I had the information sent off to the UAP caucus in Washington. I've heard nothing back. You know why? Because they know what this means. They're lying to you. They're lying. All these people are lying. There's a cover up. And then the icing on the cake, I knew the fix was in most recently when I saw that Proof is Out There episode, the very first episode of the Proof is Out There. They didn't talk about any of the stuff I'm talking about now, right? The only thing they talked about, remember, the Proof is Out There in that episode, the very first episode of the season, a mainstream outlet, a mainstream entertainment show, okay? They talk about the body cam footage that the police officer was wearing, and they bring Mick West on to tell you that's a meteor. They don't talk about any of the other videos of that show the object coming down. They don't talk about the 1 minute and 41 second long cell phone footage, right? They didn't talk about that at all. They didn't mention it at all. And then at the end of the show, the host says, "Oh yeah, it's only the NASA says it's a meteor, and the police, the Las Vegas Police Department says it's the claim of aliens in the backyard is unfounded, that there's basically nothing to this. There's no evidence whatsoever." That's not true. I've had contacts with different people who have contacts with the Las Vegas Police Department. And in fact, there was one officer that was on a YouTube video that said that they thought it was real, right? So I don't know what the Proof is Out There is doing. Obviously, there's an effort to cover this up because they think you're stupid, right? They think everyone's stupid. What it seems to me is that I believe that family, I think that they've been harassed into being quiet about this. This is my belief at this point. They don't want them. There are either people in the government, or who knows, maybe there's aliens are responsible. I have no idea. Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's both, right? Trying to keep this story tamped down because they don't want the world to know the truth about reality. That's the bottom line, folks. That's the bottom line. Anyway, I just want to say this. Thank you very much for joining me today. Until next time.